Hey VC, thanks for stopping by my channel. Tony back, Tony's LPS are us, and the Elvis light is on. We're in Studio E, so we are taping right now, and this will be published in a few moments after I review it. I don't really edit right now. I wish I'm going to try to learn to do some inserts and things like that, because there's really some talented VCers out there that do a tremendous job with the editing, but I've seen some of the channels that I watch, like Mazzy and Derek and people like that, they don't even edit. So really doesn't matter. It's the content, I think, that counts. But I do appreciate the editing. And I also appreciate everyone who subbed. If you haven't subbed to the channel, please sub. You just hit that little button on there if you can. You have to be logged into YouTube, I guess, but really appreciate the ones who have. But this video is going to be my kind of hopes and my predictions on the next two RHINO High Fidelity series releases. In a few days, there's going to be a big announcement on what records are coming next. And I believe after the announcement, they'll either be available for pre-order or they'll be available ASAP, but I'm not really sure. So those are the limited numbered series. And as we now know, after those sell out, RHINO can issue those as unnumbered, even with the Obi. So anyway, I just have a few hopes and a few predictions, and we're going to see what you guys think. If you have any hopes or predictions of what you think should be the next RHINO series releases, or maybe not the next one coming up, but in the future, please leave a comment. Really appreciate your comments. Always try to respond. Now, I believe this pile, I have 5 records here. I believe this pile of records are under the RHINO banner. I'm pretty sure of it. If I'm not, I apologize. I try to look up what records, what labels RHINO had options to, and there's quite a bit. They even saw Monkeys on there, and they've reissued Monkeys, as you know. So these are records that I believe RHINO has access to, as far as if they have license to do a high fidelity series, limited series, I'm not sure, but these are my picks and these are my hopes. So first up is this record, and that's still in the shrink. This is a green, I believe this is a Green Warner, America's first album. Now this first album, it just needs to be done the right way, and this record sounds great. It's a demo record. It's almost like a greatest hits. I Need You is on here. Sandman, Riverside, Three Roses, and of course A Horse with No Name. So my first one is America's debut album on Warner. Second up is a Emerson, Lake and Palmer. I believe this is on Atco. And this is an OG. I'm going to show you the OG. This has a little booklet in it, which was cool. This has a poster on the originals, and it has the 3 members of ELO, Emerson, Lake, and Palmer. Now, this record, I played it the other day, and it's just astounding. It's, welcome back, my friends, to the show that never ends. It's just, it blows my mind. So Brain Salad Surgery, if you don't know this record, you guys out there, this is a record that I think if you have any Emerson, Lake and Palmer record, this is the one that you should start out with. But although the majority of them are great, except maybe Love Lake or whatever, when they're all on the cover, it's almost like an 80s disco cover. It's one of the most ridiculed covers in rock and roll history, and I think it sunk the band. If you know that record, you could look that up. But this is the original with the die cut, and the original concept is H.R. Giger or H.R. Geiger. He's the person he was a designer, German, and he was the one who actually designed the alien creature in the Alien films. And there's documentaries on him. So he also did a cover for Debbie Harry when she has pins in her head. It's a great record. The Debbie Harry record's a great record. But I would like to see this done on a quality record as far as quality goes, and the RHINOs are just great quality. I think the RHINOs for 33 1/3, I think they stack up against 1-steps and 8 UHQRs and any MoFi. So, and here's the original label right there with the cover of the cover of the LP on there. And I believe this is under the banner of RHINO. I'm pretty sure. If I'm not, I apologize. Here's a reissue. And if you see the reissue, it doesn't have the die cut. So, and this is Atlantic. And there's the different inner. The inner's consolidated. And they still give you the custom label. So, either one, you could search out if you don't have it, you want to try it, listen to it on YouTube. But this record has to be played on a nice system in vinyl, and you got to have a nice beverage or whatever you use to add to your enjoyment late at night and just blow yourself away. Next up is what I was talking about today with my friend Don. Blind Faith on Atco. I think there was a MoFi of this. I looked it up, and the MoFi's going for a lot of money. And this record's just the greatest hits. Clapton, Baker, Little Stevie Winwood, and Rick Creech. So this is the domestic cover. The other cover had a young woman on it, as you know, with the airplane, the silver plane. And this is the one I have. I don't have that one. But this has lyrics on the back. And we could thank Sergeant Pepper's that started that. And here's the original. I'm just showing these if you want to see. It's a yellow. I have a yellow Atco. There's different pressings of this. But I really think that Blind Faith should be up there as being considered for a RHINO high fidelity series. If you agree, if you don't agree, that's just my opinion. But if you wait till the end, I have a classic that if it ever comes to fruition, they'd have to print 10,000 copies because the original run would sell out quicker than the Cars first one or the Black Sabbath, as far as I know. Because the last record I'm going to show you, you'll have to agree, it's not. I don't even know if it's in print. I don't even know if it's been done again as an audiophile record. But just the characters in this group deserves it. Next up is another classic. This is an original Jackson Browne, Saturate Before Using, and this is the canvas original cover. It's got like a canvas cover to it, and it's a top loader, which was rare for a domestic. And this has, of course, Dr. My Eyes on it. Dr. My Eyes I just played a few minutes ago, and it's just an amazing record. It jumps out at you. The whole record is good if you like Jackson Browne. He plays piano, acoustic guitar. There's a band of Laurel Canyon people on this. David Crosby does backup vocals. They're all friends. I think they all live together. But I don't think this record sounds as good as it can. I'm not sure of this pressing. I think I may have another pressing that may be better, but this is an OG. And it has a preponderance of bass. It's very bassy. Side 1 with Dr. My Eyes is more bassy than side 2 that maybe, different mothers or different metal plates were used when it was cut. But in this particular one, I think the bass is there, and the vocals are not as their vocals are right in front in the soundstage. Jackson Browne, of course. But really good stereo imaging. Everything else fills in. Like I said, side 2 sounds better, but I like side 1 because of Dr. My Eyes. Here's the inner, which has water, I guess, saturate, right? And here's the Asylum. And I believe RHINO has access to Asylum. This was David Geffen's record company, and Jackson Browne was one of the first people. They were friends. I may have been his manager, but they were friends, and Jackson Browne signed up with him. This is an Atlantic Asylum, 1972. And that's the label there. But what was funny, he was his manager, opened up, came out with Geffen, and of course, Jackson Browne, Linda Ronstadt, they made Geffen a lot of money. Joni Mitchell, that whole crew. But this is the really nice cover. It has a top loader canvas. But I think that would make a great addition to the High Fidelity series. A lot of people don't talk about Jackson Browne. As far as I know, Jackson Browne is kind of, you know, low key. You really have to get into him. I remember when I was at the record store, the guys I work with would call him Jackson Down. But the girls in the record store love Jackson Browne. I was never a huge Jackson Browne fan. I have most of his stuff. He did a great tune with, I think it's called A Friend of Mine, with the big man Clarence Clements from Bruce's band. And that was a top, probably a top 10, top 5 hit, may have been #1. But the last pick I have, and I think everyone will agree, is this record, The Traveling Wilburys. Now, this is a Warner. So I know RHINO definitely has access to Warner. And I'm not sure if this was ever given the treatment that it deserves. I know this is the first copy of this, the first press. And it was a weird situation how I got this. And I'm going to tell you a quick story about it. There's the original label. You have the first Wilburys, the brothers, Handle with Care, Congratulations, Tweeter and the Monkey Man, I think it's Dylan, Dirty World. You have Jeff Lynne, Tom Petty, Orbison, Harrison, and Dylan. Okay, now, if this doesn't deserve a RHINO High Fidelity pressing, you know, what will? And if RHINO's watching, you people out there that do RHINO, if you're watching, you know, check this one out. Now here is this is a really near mint copy. Here's the label side, has the tunes on it. This side, the other side just has a photo. Now, comes with the original inner. Now I'm going to tell you a story about this. Like, this record was available. This record, The Traveling Wilburys, volume, is it volume 1 or, yeah, volume 1. Here, I'm going to hold it up while I talk so you can look at this instead of me. So this record was during the heyday of the CD. I had it on CD, never bought it on vinyl, started to get pricey, I missed out. Now, about 5 or 6 years ago, I'm looking through the wine ads for yard sales. And I do that on a Thursday because Friday sales or Saturday sales. So I saw that there was a person was doing a yard sale, had records. They never say what records. Sometimes there's photographs, and if they are doing it, they list. They put Beatles up front, and there's one Beatle record. When I do a yard sale, and I'm selling records, which I do not often, but I've done it once or twice, I always put no Beatles, no Stones, because I don't want to disappoint anybody. I don't want people coming to my yard or my garage and say, you know, where's all the Beatles and the Stones or Zeppelin? So I put no Beatles, no Stones, unless I have a couple copies I want to get rid of, which I never will. I do that. But people show the Beatle record, they show the Stones record. Then when you get there, that's the one record that's gone. You always have to get there first anyway. But anyway, so I travel about 40 minutes for this sale, and I get there, you know, not right. I'm not the first guy there. I'm there. People are buying records. So I see this record, and I see the last Roy Orbison record, which I have, which was produced by Bono, I think, or Bono's on it. I forget the name of it now. It's a really good record. It was the last record that Orbison did before he passed away. So anyway, I'm looking through, and the records weren't priced typically for a yard sale. She actually had a list. It was a young lady. She actually had a list, and after the Fleetwood Mac, Rumors, Led Zeppelin, Houses of the Holy, Marvin Gaye, whatever, and she had the prices next to the record. So if I pulled out Rumors, She had marked down, I'm just guessing now, $20. And I wasn't going to pay $20 for rumors or that. So what they were doing, they were looking up prices online, on eBay or whatever sites. But most of the time at yard sales, the people inherit the records or they just think they're going to get rich and they don't look up conditions. So anyway, so I'm going through and because of the prices, I picked out a few. Now I saw this. So I pulled it out, saw it was original, looked at the record, saw it was near mint, really good copy, shoved it back in aside. I must have bought like 6 or 7 records because I ended up, maybe 10 records. I ended up going up to her and I'm saying, look, I'm going to buy these. Can we work out something? And we worked out a better price. Like if she had this for $8, that was a bargain. So I got a better deal. But I left the Roy Orbison there, went home, drove home another 40 minutes to clean them. What I do is I always clean the outside with a baby wipe that's non-alcoholic and not going to, ruin the cover. Do not try to clean this record. Of course, this has that rough canvas type of, do not try to clean that. That would just get dirtier with the water, with the substance. But anyway, I go home. I'm real psyched about this record. I don't care about the other records I have. I must have bought, like I said, 6, 7 records. I get home. I pulled out this record and I look at it, and it's not Wilburys. It's the Roy Orbison record that someone switched. And it was my fault because I didn't pull it all the way out. So word to the wise. So I said, I was totally disappointed. So I'm thinking, okay, Roy Orbison, I saw the record there. If no one bought that record, 9 out of 10, this record is in the Roy Orbison. So I drove back there, got there in another half hour, went up to the girl, and I'm saying, I think this record was switched with one of your other records. Can I look through your pile? And she goes, yeah, sure, of course. So by the grace of God, by the grace of the almighty vinyl gods, I was right. The Roy Orbison had the Wilburys in it, and the Wilburys obviously had the Roy Orbison in it. So I told the person, I go, this is what, she goes, yeah, that's cool, whatever, sorry about that. So that's my Wilbury story, and I'll never forget it. So keep rocking. These are my 5 hopes, maybe my predictions. So if RHINO's out there, you got some nice picks to do. I think they're all good. Jackson Browne, Blind Faith, Emerson, Lake and Palmer, Brain Salad Surgery. What else did I pick? And America and this one. So that's it for tonight. Thanks again. And like I said, I really appreciate the subs. If you haven't subbed, try to sub. If you have any comments about, am I way off base, or have these been done before, or am I beating a dead horse? RHINO, picked some good ones. Even Television, which was off my radar, and that one sold out. But like I said, the numbered editions will sell out, but I don't really think you have to go crazy anymore, because RHINO is going to press these after the limited run, numbered run out. And if you're FOMO, fear of missing out, then you need the numbered one. If you're not fear of missing out, which I'm not anymore, I'm going to do a whole video on fear of missing out. I'll wait. As a matter of fact, we were just talking about that today, the ZZ Top box set. As soon as that sold out, which was really a good deal, right? 5 records, $199. Sold out. RHINO issues them individually, so who knows? But that's up to RHINO. I don't have a problem with it. But FOMOs, if you want that, you have to get it right away if you want the number. So this is my top pick. If you're listening, this would be a good one. This is going to be a quick sellout. Take care. Thanks again. Keep rocking.